Yeah, hello and welcome. The family is a group of persons united by the ties of marriage, blood, or adoption, and they constitute a single household. And then, of course, they would interact with each other in their respective social positions, usually those of spouses, parents, children, and siblings, yeah?
Okay, you went to school. So family is everything, and family support is absolutely important to individuals for several reasons, some of which are physical, emotional, and mental. It really can be argued that a successful and happy life depends so much on having a loving family and healthy relationships. I went to school too.
You went to school too. And of course, you may wonder where we are headed for on the show this week. Well, it's all about the family and family love. And really, that should be unconditional, irrespective of the situation, especially at the critical point of need.
Okay, John, you are so correct there. But is that the case with a lot of families today? Can we say that's the case with a lot of families today? Unconditional love? Well, we'll find out in the course of this show. The family is at the center of our conversation this week against the backdrop of family support, selfless and unconditional love, attention, concern, and care. And this is a conversation that you will remember. I can say that again for a very, very long time because I've got goose pimples all over me as I'm talking about today's show. The matter we're going to be discussing is available, it's felt in almost every family. I'm Helen Amorighoye, and it's a warm and hearty welcome today from me to you on this show. Welcome.
Yes. Helen Oma.
Don't bite your tongue. I keep telling you every time.
Well, and a big thanks for, tuning in on today with John and Helen. It's a weekly conversation, with the aim of impacting the family and in extension, or by extension, the society positively. Like you said, she's Helen, and I am John Senaya.
All right, so today's show promises to be everything that you expect it to be. So let's kick out the suspense, Abi John.
Yeah.
Let's take away the suspense as our main actors are already in the studio. Now, after the break, the conversation begins in earnest. I tell you, it's a show you cannot afford to miss. Please don't go away.
Yes, thanks for being there. And if you've just tuned in, today with John and Helen is the program, and we're live on PlusTvAfrica. You're right on time too, so welcome. Now, so many things happen, and the peace, tranquility, and happiness of the family is stolen. One of them, not so often spoken about, is the health challenge, dementia. Dementia.
Dementia.
Yeah.
And in the studio with us are siblings, two sisters who have been bruised and tested by all that comes with dementia. But they have overcome because they stood together, they understand what it took, and they displayed unconditional love to the sufferers. Our guest will join us in a bit.
So, what's up?
I don't know.
Anything, Cherry? Anything worth sharing?
You tell me, John. You tell me, John.
Well, I think that really our attention should go to the 2023 loading.
Okay.
Yes, we've seen a bit of display of what 2023 will be like on the political arena, and the only thing we can say to people now is go out, get your PVC.
The intrigues. Suspense.
Yes.
I mean, in the last 2 weeks or so, it's been like, you wake up one morning and you find something happening. And then before it's noon, something else is happening.
Yes.
And we're like, God, where are we headed?
That's
so we
the
thank
game.
God that
that's
the
the game of
started.
politics. Yeah, it's
Right.
interesting.
So I'm also campaigning. I'm all out there now, asking people to please go get there.
Oh, when you said you were campaigning,
I'm campaigning in that direction.
Okay.
All right, so that when 2023 comes, nobody will say, I don't have a voter's card.
I would have wanted you to go for governorship or something.
It's very late now. It's very late. Nobody knows me in my state.
Nobody. That's what you think. That's what you think. So I think really we should dive into the program.
Yes, we should, John. Yeah. We should, John. All right, we should. So we mentioned in our introduction that our focus today is on the health condition dementia. As John said it, you know he's a Weibo person. So simply put, is a chronic or persistent disorder that is caused by brain disease or injury, marked by memory disorders, personality changes, and impaired reasoning. Now, we don't have a doctor in the studio. We have people who have, you know, experienced what it takes, you know, to have people living with this condition around you. And so to share their stories and get us to join them to act are two sisters.
Hands-on. Two sisters who are hands-on.
Okay, John.
On dementia. We have Claudette Amorighoye. She is a lawyer, a wife, a mother, who holds a law degree from the University of Wales, Cardiff. She is the CEO of Practitioner, a UK-based organization which promotes and, you know, cares about the quality of life of Nigerians in diaspora using quality entertainment and campaigns. Our guest has worked with many A-list entertainers like Seyi Law, Tope Alabi, Kenny Black, AY, Ali Baba, to mention just a few, like we say.
Yeah.
In shows like David's Dance, Easter Fiesta, Milton Keynes Must Laugh with Seyi Law, Christmas Ball, Kenny Black, and so you can go on and on and on. And even with Ali Baba and more. In 2021, we're told, you know, as a part of giving back to society, Christenment itself launched a dementia awareness campaign. Anyhow, let's welcome Claudette. And she's here with her sister, Jocelyn, Ademiliyu, someone I've worked with sometime in the past.
It's like Jocelyn has worked with practically everybody.
Jocelyn is a true professional when it comes to handling events. So let's welcome Claudette and Jocelyn.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
All right. You just dashed in from the rains.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So your profile covers several levels of education and interests, but we need to get a head start on, like, where did this all start? What is this thing about dementia that you and your sister and probably all members of a family are going for it?
Thank you for having us once again. We are so grateful to be here. Like, dementia is very personal to us. In several years before now, we had a family member who had dementia, but unfortunately, it wasn't treated as such. They were brought back from their retirement home, saying they were talking to spirits, communicating with ghosts, and, you know, it was spiritualized to all levels that you could imagine. And of course, we were ignorant. We didn't know what dementia was. So we joined in keeping Granddad secure, keeping this person out of, you know, risk as much as we could, you know, and as much as we best understood it to be. Several years later, I find out that there's a disease called dementia, and all the symptoms and signs were simply what this person had. So you can imagine how devastating it was to say, oh, he could have sought medical attention, we could have had help. But we didn't know that it was a medical condition. We were told it was a spiritual thing, so we dealt with it the best way we could. And several years later, 2017, another member of a family starts to show signs, you know, and with the knowledge we had acquired, then I'd relocated, and, you know, with the knowledge I understood what it was, and I said, no, we have to do this as it is, take care of it as it is, because it's treated differently in Nigeria.
It is.
You know, it's different in Nigeria.
It's treated differently, and I'd like to jump in at that point. Actually, I'll take the question away from you and face my friend Jocelyn. So now, whenever the topic dementia comes up, the first thing that races through your mind is mental illness and then age. You know, what's the connection? Are these two?
Okay, most of the time when someone shows signs or symptoms of dementia, the person has actually is advanced in age, but it's related to the person's early life. And it's like our brain has a diminishing or value of depreciation as we grow older. So yes, all the things we do at our young age and all those things, they're the ones that lead to where we get to at our old age. So activities we get engaged in at the younger age would lead to what an older person would have in their brain when they get older. So now, when you say someone has dementia, it just shows that the brain has experienced something. It could either be a vascular situation, it could be a stroke, it could be something that has affected that brain, and then it starts to lose lots of functions on different levels. So yes, it's not just, it's a mental health situation, but it comes as a result of the depreciation of the brain's function.
And you say you're not a medical doctor?
You know, when you have such an experience, you have to understand it. You have to research it. And acceptance is the first step on dealing with dementia. But the topic we're discussing is dealing with dementia. Acceptance is the first step. So if you're not able to understand it and accept it.
Acceptance by the sufferer?
Both the sufferer
and the caregivers and the family
members. Yes. So we have to understand what we're dealing with, believe that it is manageable, then begin to find steps in which to manage it. So that's basically what comes to mind.
Okay, by the way, your dad is a person who's still, you know, and mom passed as a result of taking care of her. I remember a few days ago at an event when you were sharing that experience, you broke down. And so I can imagine, you know, because you kept on saying, this is someone I know. And all of a sudden, you're seeing someone that you no longer know. So I'm trying to wrap my hands around those two words. This is who I think I used to know and love, and I understand. And all of a sudden, dementia sets in, and it's like, this is a total stranger.
So as one of the signs of dementia, apart from the memory loss that everybody seems to focus on, is behavioral change. Now, it's the most difficult to deal with because everything you know and remember this person to be suddenly goes away. They gradually become a different person because every day they show a different side to them. So, for example, a person can get aggressive. A person who is known to be calm, peaceful, quiet, will suddenly be aggressive, stubborn. They would insist on getting their way in certain things. If they don't, they can go very violent. Okay. So that is something that carers and the family have to understand, that it's not this person, the person you used to know. You must understand the changes that come with it. So when they do such things, you know how to handle it. Because if you don't, it will shock you. And it will hurt you. Because this person has never yelled at you. They've not done something and they will do it, and the next second they tell you, what are you talking about? I'll give an example. Somebody yells at you now and tells you, I'll use my dad. He says something and I go like, Dad, you're about to curse, you're cursing. You'll be like, what? God forbid. I would never do that. And they say, God forgive you. Then you do that. I will never do that. You know, this person is at a different place at a different time, you know, per time. So you need to understand that these changes, when they come, don't take it to heart, don't take it personal. Dementia damages you. It damages the carer more than the person who's suffering.
So it's about forgetting who you really are as a sufferer, because you can't say something this very minute and you don't realize that you're the one who said it.
I'm a little worried there because my phone plays games on me. You know, sometimes I'm holding it and I'm looking for it.
Okay, so we get this question all the time. Does that mean I have dementia?
So tell me, should I be worried?
No, I wouldn't say. Everybody forgets something every now and then.
Yes. Okay.
But what I do when I get to, so for example, I know that dementia can be hereditary.
Okay.
So once I get into that place where I forget something, I quickly tell myself, stimulate your brain. Get into an activity. I do something to stimulate myself. I read a book.
Oh, okay.
Either I read a book, or find an activity to do, just to tell my brain that I'm not tolerating anything rather than you being, active.
Okay. That was an aside, really.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Helen, go ahead.
All right, so let me take Jocelyn this time.
Why Jocelyn? Why
yeah.
Jocelyn
Are you picking on us?
So, Director, the question is the next question for Jocelyn, please. So, number 3 questions for Jocelyn. All right, so let's go back to your interest and passion for advocacy and support for people who are suffering from dementia. What exactly are you aiming to achieve? And how has this journey been?
Okay, so that's 2 questions. So
one wrapped in, 2 wrapped in one.
Yes, I'm going to start. First of all, because of where we are coming from, the beginning of it for us, we were ignorant. She gets to say my granddad was all that because she knew that part of him because the age difference is...
Okay.
Yes, so she knew that part of my granddad, but I didn't get to know that part. The part of my granddad I knew was the dementia part. I was a bit younger when he was the cool guy, but even when he had the dementia, he still had those traits. But when he snaps, but the thing is this, we didn't know what we were dealing with. So the only thing we had was the kindness of our hearts, religion, upbringing, love. That was all we had going for us. And I'll say, I think we tried without basic knowledge. But when it came up again and she said, like, it was just totally, she got the brainwave. And we do very well together whenever something comes up. And so she just called me and said, how about this, how about that? And I said, that's beautiful. But this is what came to our mind. If over the years, people had been called all sorts of names just because of a situation that can be managed by them, and by their families and the caregivers and the medical system. And it's still going on now. And okay, we are here again about to fall into the situation. And it took a while for us to even be able to get to the point of accepting that, even for my dad to even accept that he was forgetting things. And for my mom to even accept that that was that situation again. So we're having the same, there was like a deja vu. We're having the same thing all over. She said, let's tell people. Let's start shouting to the rooftop that there is something called dementia. When you see the signs, get diagnosis. When you see we have flyers to go with it. When you see these symptoms, ask questions. Don't just bury it under the carpet. Don't just lock somebody in the room. Don't call the white government people to come with broom to whip the deal. Don't put them on the street and ask them to confess sins they haven't committed. They didn't just land from the sky and convert from bird to human being. They need help. So seek the right help. So we started by looking for ways to talk to people, get the attention of especially the generation that we are in, because we have a very short attention span people right now. So we needed to capture their attention. We said, how do we do it? We needed to do sights and sound. We went into...
We'll go into what you're doing. We'll go into what you're doing because, when you started answering that question, it triggered something in my mind that, is it possible, is it true that we have more cases of dementia outside this country than we have in Nigeria? Or is it that, what is going on?
We just don't know.
We don't know.
We just don't know. That's basically it. Like we just got, we had a meeting with a particular church where we were in to discuss creating awareness over there. They have 2 people already missing. Wow. 2 members. And one of them is about 2 years ago. They're still looking for the person. So we have so many people that don't even know what they're dealing with. And the families get frustrated. The caregivers just lose it. And you know what? Just get out. You want to go? Go. I told you not to go. You want to go? Go. And then they go. And that's the end of it.
Which is why we need to know.
So we need to know. That's it. So there are a lot of people that don't know what they're dealing with. And we lose it. So
they don't get diagnosis. So diagnosis is another thing. Because we're the kind of people we are, we shy away from certain things. So it's difficult to get diagnosed with things like that. And even when we do, it's hard to accept.
All right. I remember yesterday we were sharing and we were talking about how difficult it is for the Generation Z, to be
That's us.
home.
Oh my
Where
God.
to be home, in quote, home, you know, to be really a
Yes.
part of the family.
Yes.
Because their family is the internet.
Yes.
You know, and we're talking about the importance of family support in a situation such as this. How are we going to get through to these people?
Well,
Because they must be there for the mother and the father and the auntie and the uncle.
I think I would just recommend that we all go back home and do our homework. To be honest, we cannot stop technology, but we can use it wisely. So, for example, we would hope that we will put things out there. For example, we've done the short film we've had already done. We'll put it out there. We'll get them. We've done a short film. It's called Our Memoirs, and it's a film we've made on dementia. We're hoping that such things will be able to captivate this generation of people, get their attention, and get them to have a rethink. I'll give an example. We did a premiere last week, Saturday, and somebody came out and said to us, "Oh my God, I'm going home." And I was like, "Okay." He said, "No, I'm going home back to my family. I need to fix something. I need to fix this." We were looking at him like, "Okay, we don't get." He said, "My stepmom, my dad had dementia, and we accused my stepmom of being a witch.
Wow.
So I need to get this back home and run back to fix this."
And we see that happening.
And we're talking about a young chap who is up and doing, who is, so he is, they've all accepted that the stepmother is a witch.
a witch.
She's the one putting whatever it is on their dad, and they've been living with her and dealing with her that way. But luckily, from the movie he watched, he just broke down and he shared with us. So we're hoping that we'll get this kind of reaction from this generation. And, you know, because, I mean, that's about the only way you can catch them, to be honest.
Okay, now
That's
that
about
I'm
the
sure,
only
I'm certain that you are not medical doctors.
We're not.
I actually did a little research before this program, and I heard about something called the Alzheimer's disease.
Yes.
Okay.
Could you? It's like a chicken and egg,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Which comes first? Dementia,
Dementia.
Alzheimer's.
So-
What's the link?
You want to go? Okay, dementia is like an umbrella name for various
Brain.
various diseases.
Yes.
So we have the Alzheimer's, we have the Lewy body, we have Parkinson's. They are different. Yeah, so they are different. So Alzheimer's is just one type of dementia.
Okay.
So there are various types, but the major ones are the ones the vascular one.
So you have to really zero in on which one.
Yes, that's why you need to
Yes.
get a
Yeah,
you need to
diagnosis.
get-
Yes, you have to get diagnosis. You can't just generalize it.
Yes. So you need to ask for help. It's not something you can just wake up in the morning and start working.
Okay,
on
so
your
now
own.
we'll just say, okay, it's a mental disorder, correct?
Yes, it is.
Where do we go for help?
So, okay.
Neurologists.
Okay.
If you go to the hospital, and so for example, we have a screening on the 18th, if I may share, at King's Trust in Surulere. We're encouraging people to come for that screening. If you have signs, so the purpose of this is to tell you what the signs, possible signs to look out for will be. So then, if you know somebody or you've seen somebody showing those signs, take them to the hospital. You know, rather than keeping them in the room or showing them in the church or hiding them, take them to the hospital. The neurologist will do a brain scan. They'll see what the brain is. So, if I can explain it, this is the brain. It starts to break out in cells. It starts to deteriorate in bits. When they notice that, they can tell you how far gone it is, and you can, from that stage, start managing it.
Okay.
So like everything they say, early detection is good.
Yeah.
Early detection is good for this as well. If we can get that scan done, the neurologist will analyze and see that there's some part of the brain deteriorating, you can start managing it. To be honest, there is no cure, but dementia can be managed.
But you see your imagery of the brain.
I knew you were going to go
as
there.
apt, as apt as it was, you know, some of us still can't get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the signs? What are the signs that we will see? Like, oh, okay, like I said, I'm holding my phone and I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
get, what are the signs? Tell us a few things.
Okay,
that,
so we can start with the most common one.
Raise the flag,
Yeah, the most common one is memory loss.
Yes.
Along with memory loss, somebody getting lost in a familiar place.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an alarm bell.
Okay. You're
Very
taking a
loud.
walk.
It's an alarm bell.
No.
And
Yeah, in the
suddenly
house.
you
in the
miss
house,
your way. Okay.
And you kind of
House.
ask me,
Oh, inside.
where are we?
Okay.
Alarm
Or you
bell.
meet someone that you should know.
You meet somebody that you know, and you're asking for introduction.
Who is this? Wow.
Alarm bell. Oh, hello, have we met? Alarm bell. So there are a lot of things that we might take for granted, we might overlook, that we need to pay attention to. The most important, one of the most, I can't say most important, there's loads. Somebody who would regularly wake up, have their routine, dress up. They don't do that every month. Their daily routine.
Yes.
They can't get into it anymore.
Okay.
Alarm bell.
Okay.
Yes.
Stuff as simple as that.
Stuff
As
as
simple
simple as that.
as simple.
Don't
How
look
about
for
talking to yourself? Some people say it's healthy, but then
Oh, no, not that kind.
not that
hallucination.
type.
Not
You're
that
saying
kind.
stuff. You're
So dementia has a lot to do with lifestyle as well. Now, I'll give you another sign. Somebody's reiterating their old lifestyle regularly.
Okay.
They keep reminding you or talking about something that they've done in the past.
and they're talking about it.
They're talking
repeatedly.
about it repeatedly.
And like it's now.
Oh, I'm telling you, when I used to be in the force. When I used to be in the force. And then you go like, okay, I'm listening. And then he tells you that, and he that's about everything, because that's where
But we see that all the time.
That's where we're talking about. Because the problem is, the memory gets to a place.
And it just,
That's all I can remember right now.
Okay.
wow.
So he's
Okay. Or you've retired.
So, yeah.
And all
you
of a sudden
retire,
you wake up in
suddenly
the
you want
morning
to
and
go
you're
to
getting
work.
ready to go to work.
Yes.
Exactly. We have a typical example of my granddad. He always looked so smart, and he just comes out of the room and you're like, Grandpa, where are you going?
Fully dressed.
I'm going to campus. He has this Kangol cap. I'm admiring him, like neatly dressed. And he says, I'm going to campus. And I'm like, campus? And my mommy reminds me where he used to work. I'm like, oh, okay. You can go. We talk him back into the room. He says, I'll be late. Grandpa, you just look for ways to distract him. Remember, this was in the time we didn't have knowledge. Now, fast forward to now. My dad, okay, like you mentioned that we lost my mom. So after my mom died, he wake up in the morning and say, where's your mom? I was like, Dad, try and remember. And he's like,
Oh boy.
she said she was coming back. She called me that she will be back now. Daddy, we had this conversation yesterday, remember? So we try to make sure he works on his recollecting on his own. We just, make it as easy as possible. Sometimes,
Just refresh.
Yeah.
sometimes he'll pick up and say, oh,
Yes, I remember.
I remember. Where is she now? You said you took her to the mortuary?
Oh Lord.
Oh, then we start the conversation again.
All over.
Or sometimes we need to help him eventually remember. Then you could say, where are we? Are we in Benin? Yeah, we're in Lagos. Daddy, we're not in Benin. So stuff like that. And Benin is like a long time ago.
He just goes to Benin like every now and then. So he never leaves there, but
not-
he just knows that he keeps going there, and he keeps saying, are we going to Benin? Okay, stuff like that.
Now, I'm looking at the, we talked about age, relativity to age and all of that. Where is the top of the hill? Is it 60, 50,
Well,
or is it,
Before it used to be like 60, 70.
because I'm 60.
Don't
Don't
worry.
be afraid. just keep a healthy lifestyle. Before it used to be 70s, 60s, but we know that there's the lifespan of most of the men, women in our time now has come down. So right now we have younger people showing signs. Before we didn't have people that were hypertensive at 40.
Okay.
But now at 30 something, someone. So we have to start checking ourselves. That's why we're shouting. That's why we're speaking up now. We have to start checking ourselves, our habits, excessive consumption of alcohol, sedentary lifestyle, inactivity. You know, when you feel you've gotten to the point where you can order people around and then you just stop doing, you are giving your brain time to sleep. You know, even if you have to play a game of cards, chess, Ludo, once in a while, not necessarily computer games. I'm just bringing it down to home, you know. You just pick something that would make you calculate something, get your brain stimulated to the point that you're not depreciating fast. So it will give you opportunity to move. And then exercise.
Let me quickly add to that. Some years ago, while we were doing Dementia Friends training, a 40-year-old came up and was diagnosed with dementia. Then it was strange. But unfortunately, as of today, we have younger people diagnosed with dementia.
Down with it. Okay, we want to spend some time on the effect on this, on dementia, the effect it has on the caregivers, the family, the family setup. What happens?
You want to go?
It is difficult, to say the least. I don't know what other word to qualify it, but it is difficult. The carer goes through so much that they don't even know about it. They are not aware that they are being damaged. They're not aware that they are being, that something is happening to them. I'll give an example. Somebody shared in thing that they had seen their person suffering with dementia in a different light, that they couldn't come out, they couldn't recover. So let me just give the picture. It's difficult because this person you love so much, this person you've known all your life, this person you've come to grow, you know, into, suddenly changes, and the worst thing, you can't really help them. It is heartbreaking. I'm holding myself. It is heartbreaking. And you don't know, because when they start reacting, when they start doing things, it depends on what level they are. Of course, if they start doing things, you just can't understand it. You can't believe. It's confusing.
It's confusing sometimes.
It's scary. Sometimes your life as a carer is at risk. I'll give an example. The one that happened in the UK. The patient was taken out of the house because he had become a threat to the wife, who was about the same age. Of course, most old people have wives, maybe at least 10,
or 5,
different. And then the person is not that strong. But when this person starts and there's no caregiving around them, the carer also suffers.
Okay.
The person living with them goes through a lot. The people, the nurses go through a lot. Everybody needs understanding. Everybody needs to know what they're dealing with, or else they will be damaged.
Let me add to that. We're talking about damage. When we're trying to explain the damage, we have to understand that the mental health, the mental state of the carer is being tampered with. So it's like this. This is a straight line. You've known the straight line for 20 years, 40 years. And then somewhere in between, the line goes this way and comes back straight. And then yet it goes this way and come back straight. So you have to deal with when the line goes down and comes back up. So it's like topsy-turvy for you all the time.
And you're not prepared for it.
And you're not trained for it. Yes, there's no warning. So your mental state just... So you also have your life, remember that. So you're living your life, maybe already messed up. You're living the person's life. You're trying to make sure the person has a good life. So you have lost yourself into that. Then you become emotionally drained. I started from the mental. You become emotionally drained. And when you are drained emotionally, you don't even find the strength to be able to take care of yourself physically. Then your health begins to dwindle.
Yeah.
So at that point, you have two sufferers, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a train. It's a train leading to disaster, or how will I put it? So you keep going, it's like a roller coaster. So you go from here to there to there. So sometimes, if the caregiver is not taking care of or being aware of this particular aspect of life, the person might either die or fall ill or
Like
more ill than
the...
like in my mom's case. My mom cared for my dad, her dad at first, got out of it, got back to life. Then her sweet
husband.
Yes, her sweet, darling husband, gentleman, everything possible. Gentleman like to the core, gentlemanly to the core. He's the kind of person that no matter how you're speaking, and like, he will find a joke to make the whole situation calm down.
Okay.
And then this is the person that he uses this phrase, the person that is supposed to guide me now in my old age, because my dad, he will take brisk walks, do this, do that. You know, he has everybody under protection. So my mom was waiting in her old age to be protected by her knight. And then this is her knight, and she looks at him and says, this is the person that's supposed to take care of me. And now I have to...
So it broke her?
It broke her, and acceptance was a bit difficult for her, and all the way down.
Okay. We're being asked to, like a final question. Because one thing they've been saying since morning is, that's why we are shouting. We're shouting. I don't know if that's in line with your question. So what's the shout about? What must we do at this point in time? Okay. What's your message?
Well, the message is look after your family, the person with dementia. Get diagnosed. Dementia is not witchcraft. Don't spiritualize dementia. Seek medical care. Okay? We're working towards December 2022, where we will launch the Christmas ball. And that Christmas ball, we're going to look again at the carers. We've titled it "The Carers Care." We want the carers to also look after themselves and understand what they're saying. But for now, we want everybody to know about dementia, understand that there's something. We want the market woman to be able to say, oh, that person, he'd be like, say, now dementia, they do that man. It looks as if this man is suffering from that thing they were talking about.
The bus driver.
You know, everybody on the street can say, no, take him to the hospital. I think is that, even if they don't remember the name, is that thing they were talking about. So go to the hospital. Okay. We want everybody to be able to go to the hospital when they see the signs.
All right.
Yeah. This is deep. This is deep, and honestly, I wish we had more time, to talk about this. But really, I want to commend both of you.
Thank you
for locking horns with this disorder, and at least trying to break it down for so many of us to understand.
Thank you.
And women seem to be the ones who get so emotional about these things and run with them. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I see those tears again.
Thank you.
It is well. You're doing an awesome job. Okay, and we're in it with you.
Thank you very much.
There's need for us to continue to shout. We see traces of people like this all around us, and ignorance is not an excuse, really, not in this age. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Okay, so I believe that we're better equipped with superior knowledge and information about dementia and the importance of family support. Once again, thank you for your time.
And well done. And we promise to join you in creating the much needed awareness for this disorder. You're watching Today with John and Helen. We're live on PlusTvAfrica, and we believe you've resolved to do better with the family and the neighbor. For now, it's time to take a little break with our Keep Fit coach. After that, Pharaoh takes her turn on the lifestyle segment. So straight to the gym now. Let's join Dolly, yeah?
Yeah.